Good evening and welcome to another episode of New Game Who Dis featuring Warhammer 40K, Wrath and Glory by Cubicle 7. I'm your host and reject Justin Bieber cosplay boy, Grant Berger. And tonight I'm flanked by the unflinching bravery of three of my fellow founders of the Glass Cannon Network, Troy LaValle, Joe O'Brien, and Skid Marr. We learned in our pre-tape checks that Troy can put his leg behind his head.
Yep, all the way up and over. I'll show you now, but you can't show his feet on Twitch.
You can if you want to make money on it.
All right, here we go.
Bits for feet.
But in addition to those very special 10 digits that will not be making an appearance on camera tonight, we have the distinct honor of trekking into the grim darkness of the far future with our illustrious Special K, Kate Stamas, everybody.
Hello, my feet cost the most to see.
Let's get that hype train going. You want to see some feet?
Level 4, Kate. That's left foot over the head. Let's go.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, both Kate and Troy were bragging about their flexibility. And then Grant sort of tried, and it looked like he hurt himself.
Yeah, no.
You okay, buddy?
I'm mostly all about just moving my legs in a circle endlessly on a bicycle. I don't really have to do any stretching except for getting onto the bike, which is pretty easy when you're 6'4". Tonight I was going to begin with some dumb question inspired by Joe's stupid character's origins with the Ordos. So it was a question that was going to be, what animal or insect do you wish humans could eradicate irrespective of the effect on the ecosystem? But instead,
it's not bad.
It's a good question.
You guys really like that question?
I like that question.
I want to hear the other question.
Ants. My answer is ants.
No. Why?
Mosquito.
Okay. This is good.
Mosquito.
Ants, mosquitoes. Why ants?
yes.
Why mosquitoes?
They're everywhere.
Mosquitoes because they kill millions of people every year. And they're also awful in every way. I don't think that they have an ecological benefit. I think that that's a fact, but I'll look it up. Actually, I won't. But I
guess birds can eat them, but birds can learn to eat other things.
Yeah, they might be food, but yeah, I don't think that their biting and transferring activity actually helps anything. I think that they're just evil.
Ants just walk around like they own the place. And I don't like it. I don't like the ants' attitude, frankly.
Yeah, they just stroll into your house. Dude, while you're in the bathroom.
They don't even say hello.
Walk right in.
Or you'll be watching TV and they're just crawling on the wall. They're ant.
I will say I don't like ants, but I like them less when I lived in Texas because fire ants are a scourge on humanity.
No joke.
You had them in Denver?
Yeah. And we actually had a huge hill of them in our playground at my elementary school for some goddamn reason. And a bunch of them ran up my leg and bit me. And that is the worst pain I may have ever experienced in my life. And for years after, I would feel like phantom legs running up my legs. All the time. I'd freak out, like smacking my legs because it was so horrible. I was so traumatized by it. So yeah, they can fuck off. But regular ants, I'm a big fan. They're industrious. They take care of their own. They're awesome.
They're unified. They work together. Yeah. It's a community.
All right.
I feel like a lot of things eat ants, so I don't want to inadvertently kill them, and I don't want to mistakenly affect anything else. So I think I would choose the ocean sunfish.
Oh, why is that?
Because they're useless and they don't do any. They're like a giant fish, just like a flat disc, and they have bones in them, and they're like this long silhouette, but they're flat. They're like upright CD discs going through the ocean, and if they ever like a current or something pushes them over so that they're like flat, they can't get back to right side. So they'll just be floating in the ocean just on top, and like animals will land on them and stuff, and they become like little refuse islands, I guess. Maybe they're useful. But I don't think they matter.
Field pull.
Seriously, Kate, where did this come from? Also, are you not thinking of the people that are shipwrecked near these things that need them to grab onto to save their lives?
I don't think that they can like functionally eat either. like their jaws are fused.
The list of facts on these is amazing.
I've
Wow.
got them open right now. Yeah.
So we have a
I
vote
killed
for
8 ants today.
the ocean sunfish, ants, mosquitoes. Skid has kind of tried to override the ant suggestion, or do you have another suggestion of something?
I would veto the ants
Okay.
overall if I could. I don't want to get rid of the good ants,
Okay.
but and I would second mosquitoes. I mean, that
Yeah.
seems like the obvious answer. Although I did hear that the mRNA template for vaccines that's been used so effectively for COVID provides a possible platform for malaria vaccine, which is really exciting.
Oh, wow.
I think I told a story of a friend who got malaria, and they recovered. They were in Africa. They got malaria. They recovered. They were fine. They came back to New York, and they're riding the subway, and all of a sudden, all of their teeth turned to dust in their mouth.
Come on.
They just bit down, and like all of their teeth just like crumbled to nothing, which is one of the possible after effects of a bout of malaria. That's something that can happen. And that was the worst thing I ever heard. So get rid of them.
Wow. My grandfather
All right.
caught it in the Pacific Theater in World War II. And because of that, he met my grandmother in New Jersey, Montclair. And that's
remember
why I
this story.
exist. So
That's
now
right.
that I exist, I'm okay eliminating it. That's all. That's all I have to say.
The one good thing malaria
Yes.
did. That's done.
Wow.
Okay.
Get rid of it now.
So
We learned a lot.
the other couple, this question was irrespective of the ecosystem. I think there was some sensitivity around cute animals that might exist off of mosquitoes or ants. Fleas is in there. Fleas is pretty high. Ticks.
Ticks.
Oh, ticks is a good one.
This is a very
any
good
bug
one.
with like lots of legs that goes like scurrying around.
Fucking centipedes.
Yeah.
There was, centipedes are a good one. Speaking of ticks, I pulled a tick off of my daughter the other day that was just walking on her neck, and like it hadn't stopped or anything, which was great. But it's like that's a freaking tick, and I just said stay still, and I just pulled it off and smashed it with my finger, and you know what that does? Nothing. I dropped it down, and it just walked away. I'm telling you, I squeezed it to white all around. I was like, I don't really care. Like, I'll get goo all over me. No goo come out. No goo come out. No goo came out. No goo come out. And then it just walked away. And I was like, I hate you. And I grabbed it again, and then I got it in a tissue and like threw it in the toilet. And I was so mad that it was on her. You know what I mean? I was just like, where did you come from? I was just so angry because
Like
that's what
Liam Neeson and Taken.
Yes, exactly.
Like, get off my
They
daughter.
hunt down its whole family.
Yeah.
No, they really are. Like they're so insidious. They crawl into a hidden space where nobody can see anything, and then embed themselves in your skin and give you horrible diseases. Like they're terrible little creatures, and that you really can't kill them without like ripping their head off. That's like the only way. They can't be smushed. They can go to flatter than a piece of paper and still like survive.
Yeah.
God, I hate them.
You know, this list has also has a lot of commonalities. There's mostly invertebrates. I would put jellyfish on this list as well to join the aquatic
Pretty gross.
chapter that Kate opened up. The only other one I had on there was potentially bats. They tend to.
No.
Dude,
I love.
They're so
I had a
cute.
pet bat when I
cool,
was a
man.
kid. It was awesome.
But they have an immune system that allows them to take on all the diseases that can be given to us, but they're unaffected by any of them but rabies, and then we get them. That's probably how SARS-CoV-2 came out. That's how a ton of diseases got to us. So, but they are very cute, and they have sonar, and they can fly. They're the only mammals that can fly.
cool.
So
They're cool.
when I was in high school, a friend of mine, we were hanging out at my friend's house, and he had like an above ground pool. We were hanging out at his pool, and it got late. It was like after dusk in the summer, and he like went inside to get something, and then he came back out, and he was running over toward the pool, and he happened to, while running, run and step onto a flying bat that was flying by with his bare foot, and it was just like, and he like stepped on it.
Oh, no.
He freaked out. Like he pulled up his thing, and this bat like clung to it, and he was like, ah! And then it jumped off and flew away. he was scarred for the rest of his life. He's like any thought or he like sat in a corner shivering for like a half hour. It was a horrible experience. It's like he happened to step on a bat that was flying by at ground level. It's just like,
that's what Batman had to force his way through in order to become the hero he was.
It's true.
It's that kind of experience.
That's true.
You had to step on a lot of bats.
Well, if anyone watching has dreams of eliminating all the fleas, ocean sunfish, I believe, or ants in the world, Warhammer 40K is a great place to live out those fantasies against the Xenos of the universe.
Yes.
But before we recap and get into the adventure, we have an exciting giveaway tonight for the Naish who showed up and reported for duty on Twitch.
Naish.
Yes. Thank you guys for showing up and reporting live. We appreciate it.
We do, and so does Cubicle 7, who have decided in their infinite wisdom to once again give away one beautiful physical copy of the Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory core rulebook.
It's a gorgeous piece of work.
They're also giving
Very
away
rare.
one digital download. So these are going anywhere in the world. They're also giving away a digital copy of their hottest expansion, the Forsaken System Player's Guide. It's chock full of information archetypes to make your Wrath and Glory adventures really sing. And finally, cherry on top, they're giving away a beautiful digital collection of Wrath and Glory adventures called The Litanies of the Lost. I should also mention, and I haven't said this yet because I'm following Troy's lead as far as wanting to keep the titles of adventures secret until you're done with them. Tonight's adventure is called, and the adventure we've been playing this entire time is called The Graveyard Shift, and is available for free at cubicle7games.com.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so anyone can go and get it for free. Check it out. You don't even have to look at the core rulebook. You might like how the systems work, how it's laid out that way if you've GM'd a lot of stuff.
You've already seen it run poorly once, so now you know how to improve on that.
Yeah.
Learn from all of my mistakes. And also next week, we have an exciting new game on New Game Who Dis. Troy, why don't you give us the dirty deets?
Ooh, baby. They call it New Game Who Dis, but for the first time ever, it's going to be a little old game Who Dis, because we are going all the way back to the 80s to
That's when I was
play
born.
the original Marvel Superheroes RPG. I unearthed my old copy when I was cleaning out my parents' basement, and then I saw my good buddy Jason Bullman was getting into it at the same time. I messaged him months ago, and I said, "You want to run that on New Game Who Dis?" And he's like, "Yeah, let me just run 40 practice games because I'm a professional." And so he has been running a home game for our good buddy Dan Tharp and Eric Mona, and he is ready to go. Bullman is going to be running it for me. Skid, Alicia Marie is back. I can't imagine what she's going to dress up as. And then for the first time ever on the network, we are having a newcomer for us, Jim Zub, comic book writer Jim Zub. I had the pleasure of meeting Jim at Gen Con a few years back, and I was a huge fan of Wayward at the time. I had bought every single issue of Wayward. I'm like, oh my God, that's Jim Zub. But Jim's written for the Dungeons and Dragons Rick and Morty comic book with Patrick Rothfuss. He's written a ton of stuff for Marvel, ton of stuff for Image. And he was in this home game with Bullman as well. So he knows the system better than any of us. It's going to be great.
I got to meet with Jim Zub earlier on because we do tech checks with all of our new folks beforehand to make sure everything runs smoothly during the performance. And he is a really, really wonderful, nice guy, even in a tech setup. So he's going to be great on the stream. But he's turned into me and he said, "Now listen, I love that you guys are running this thing professionally, but I'm friends with Nick Lowe. He says you run a little loose ship over there at the Glass Cannon Network."
That's amazing.
Yeah, we tried to get Nick. Nick wasn't available, but so we got somebody better. We got Jim Zub.
Yes. I'm so excited. I don't even know if he's letting us make our own characters, but I just thought of my character concept today, and I'm so excited. I hope I get to do it. I don't even know if I will, but
It's gonna be great.
So excited about this here superhero character I came up with today.
Yeah, so be sure to check that out next week. And also, next week, we are going to be back on tour, Glass Cannon Live. We're coming to Philly next Thursday, and then next Saturday, we're going to be in D.C. There are shockingly still tickets left because I think people are nervous to get back out. I'm not going to tell you. You be the level of nervous you want to be. But if you're feeling confident, wear a mask. Come on out and see this show. I want to sell these shows out. It means so much to us to get invited back to these venues and to sort of build our cachet as we book other shows in the future. So if you can come out to Philly, come out to DC. It's going to be great to get back on the road. These are going to be legit parties.
Yeah, they're going to be great. And if you need to take a page out of Troy's book, just wake up the day of the show and harangue your family and say mean things to them. And then you'll be ready to show up at the show and you'll have a great time.
You'll be in the zone. You'll be in the zone.
I believe in you.
Well,
And if you need to get caught up, we're in the midst of releasing, or have we released part 2 yet of the Strange Aeons Marathon, or is that tomorrow?
Part 2 is going to come out tomorrow. Part 1 came out last Thursday. Part 2 will come out tomorrow, both in video on YouTube, and then the audio is available on Patreon.
Yeah,
great
so get caught up
sessions.
with that because we had a blast. A
So much
blast.
fun.
It's 10 straight hours of Strange Aeons, and we had a lot of fun. So that's all you need to get caught up. You can listen to it while you're driving from South Dakota out to the show in Philly. We'll see you there.
It's about 10 hours.
they're great sessions and they work great as audio if you have Patreon access. But if you can, watch them on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, let's recap. Your party, Britannicus Rex, the Lexmechanic, Iota, the Skitarius, Azrael, the Space Marine Scout, and who could forget? Wombat Sex Table, the Death Cult Assassin.
Yes. Yes. Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
All of you arrived on Daedalon, and with Wombat's joie de vivre and driven nature, it makes sense that you all had to be put into a coma in order to be sneaked there aboard the Memento Mori. You awake from your coma on top of a pile of 10,000 corpses. You received a data slate with a mission from a mysterious figure known as Perdita Mendax to retrieve an even more mysterious artifact known as the Revelator from the Gelfradus family crypt. The only problem is, you all don't know how to find it. You gathered your bearings, retrieved your gear from a false corpse, and then skillfully escaped detection from 4 corpse tenders from the Priory of the Sacred Form. You saw Wombat and Azrael just grab Iota and Britannicus and dive into a pile of corpses. It was very exciting. The Priory of the Sacred Form is a corpse starch processing facility. Really strange place, and it seems not just to be creating food for people, but also serving a religious purpose. You snuck through there with ease with Wombat's guidance and some subterfuge from Iota speaking to the machine spirits within. You pushed through to Barrister Cathedral and found your way into the Librarium Mortem to get more information. However, you found that the servo skull responsible for retrieving family records was recently kidnapped from Archivist Abeba's care. If you're able to find and retrieve the Kalidas, the conjoined servo skull in question, you will finally be granted the information you seek, as well as payment from Abeba. On your search for the kidnapper, you came across Kalia, a pawnbroker in Memento Square. As she attempts to hawk her wares, you adroitly clocked a key on her bandolier that matched the Gelfradus family crest. She'll give it to you if you can acquire what she traded for it from Diomedes, a local scum lord. During your search for Diomedes, you came across a poor, scum-born paperboy who directed you to the Jolly Undertaker, a local dive bar and a hive for what else? Scum and villainy. The strange patrons as you arrived at the Jolly Undertaker captured your attention. A woman with reversed hands, a man with a pseudopod protruding from his cloak, and a belligerent old bone picker with one peg leg and one augmetic leg. As you attempted to strike a deal with Diomedes, the scum-born paperboy returned to seek his revenge. You now see that you should have bought a paper from him. This is all an act of revenge on his behalf, snitching you out for your frugality, and a fracas erupts with the mob of the bar descending and Diomedes launching his trap. Let's get into combat.
I'm afraid.
Oh, I can't wait. I really wanted to do it last time. I was like bummed when we went off. I was like, no, I can't wait to dive into combat.
I remembered
I'm a
how
little
to play
nervous,
it better when we went off air last week.
Yeah,
Much
because we had
fresher in
just
my
done
mind.
so many rolls in a row that it was like, it was fresh, it was popping. Now I'm like, what is this? What are we playing?
Be like an hour and a half. I'll be back.
Okay, perfect. That should take us through to the end.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh, Grant, I found it. We were talking right before we went on air. You were like, you have 1 wrath point because you used one. I was like, I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. And then I just looked down. There it is. I have it right here in my notes.
I'm
One
not
wrath point.
You didn't see it because you were looking down, but Kate totally snitched you out. She was nodding along.
You have one. You have one.
WTF. All right.
She's a Skitarius, man. She runs it by the books. So let's talk some combat rules. You get 1 movement, 1 combat action, 1 simple action, and 1 reflexive action. Any number of free actions, which I'm going to take to be like any knowledge checks you want to do. And then to get into combat, you got to determine ambushes first off. I'm saying y'all are ambushed by these mobs and Diomedes right now. This means that they all get to go before you. Unless you want to basically seize the initiative. You can decide to act as normal if you spend a glory point. Now, I think right now, well, and it will be per person, I will say.
Ah, come on.
Oh no.
I
How many
think,
glory do we have?
I think you have 4 glory, unless someone else kept a pool of it or a list of it. I'm going to keep it at 4 unless you guys took notes. And it maxes out at 6 anyway, so you can't have too much more. But
Right. I mean, I think we should do that. We can't let them all pot shot us.
And you'll get glory back whenever you roll criticals, and you can shift exalted die above a difficulty check to get more glory. So it's not that hard to get back.
Right. Got to get that glory economy cooking.
Yeah. But I mean, so we need to spend 4 glory to just have one of us go first, is what you're saying, because
1 glory per
Then-
person to act normally, to be aware of the ambush so that you can act normally.
okay, so acting normally means they go, then we go, then they go, then we go. Otherwise, they all go. Yeah, okay. Screw that. 4 glory. See ya.
Yeah. See ya.
I am initiative in this game is determined by who makes more sense to go first. Each side is able to decide who among them will go and in what order. It'll stay that order from there on.
Right.
You could roll initiative if you wanted to, but I kind of like this more and setting in that air. Set the scene. You guys are in a dingy dive bar called the Jolly Undertaker. It smells of moonshine. There might be some flammable stuff around. I don't know. You take a look around. Take turns, and then the round ends. It's pretty standard from there. Tonight, going first will be Scum Mob number 1. This is led by Reverse Hands Woman, the leader of the mob.
Sometimes
gross.
my arms bend back.
We're going to name the leader of this mob Megan the Reverse. So
In the reverse.
Don't you mean Negam?
I mean Negam. All right, so Negam, the leader of this mob, gets to go first, and we're going to do this all theater of the mind. The scum mobs are very interesting. I can't wait for you to target them because there's interesting rules associated with that. They have an ability called a battle cry, without honor. Scum cheat in any fight. On the first round of combat, this threat may substitute their stealth for weapon skill or ballistic skill tests. So they do not have any ballistic skill. However, on this first round, they are going to be able to roll 7 die. On top of that, because there are 5 members of this mob, they're going to add 3 bonus die to that pool to roll 10 die to hit one of you with an auto pistol.
I don't like that.
Why is it +3 bonus die with 5 people? What is the math there?
The math is that the maximum is half of the total number of units in a mob. So you get +1 for, it's worded strangely in the book, but you get +1 for every troop in a mob, maximum half the number of people there. In the book, it also says that you round up whenever there's a fraction, so I'm rounding up to 3 here.
Got it.
Kate
This
is
is bad
1,
news.
Skid is 2, Joe is 3, Troy is 4. Who will they attack? They will attack number 3. Brian.
No, it's me. It's me. Of course it is.
They are attacking with an auto pistol.
Dude, he's so weak.
What are you rocking total wounds there?
I've got... It's me, Skid. It's me. He's attacking me.
Oh, I thought it was me. I thought I was 3.
Yeah. It's old Britannicus Rex. Your calculator. Your resident knowledge expert. Not so good in a fight, though, I think. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, so the mob lashes out with an auto pistol. Negam is shooting it at you. And as she does, she rolls 3 successes.
Okay, so that is a hit because my defense is 2.
Okay, yep, they overcome you. So you just have to get over the defense of, or equal or over the defense value of the character you were shooting at with the ballistics test. They will do 7 damage plus 1 extra damage dice, which I am rolling right now.
Oh.
They do not do any extra damage.
And so you subtract your resilience like DR?
Correct. Unless the weapon has armor piercing capabilities.
Right.
This auto pistol does not.
Okay. So 7 points of damage. My resilience is 4, and so I theoretically could take 3 wounds. At 5, I'm out of the fight and dying. So I am going to roll determination to try to grit through these wounds.
Excellent. This is what makes your agent special, that you have this determination to roll with the punches. There will be a penalty we'll talk about after you roll it, but let's see if you can negate any of this. Roll me your toughness attribute.
Okay, here it is. I got exalted on the wrath die.
Oh,
that's
fantastic.
That's my only success.
Nice.
So I got 2 successes, but it's on the wrath die.
Yep. So you're going to add a point of glory. So you have 1 glory.
Oh, sweet. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then you are going to reduce the damage by 2.
Okay.
So you're only going to take 1 wound.
And 2 shock.
2 shock. How much is your maximum shock?
7.
Okay. When you reach your maximum shock, something's going to happen. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I think that's a pretty good round for you being targeted like that. Overall, I will say that when you take wounds, the difficulty number of all tests increases by 1.
Yeah. Brutal.
Tactical advantage there. The scum mob is going to stay where it is and will end its turn there. It is now an agent's turn. Among the 4 of you, who will go first?
Well, I wanted to try to make the case that I should be able to act without having to spend a glory point.
Okay, why is that?
And this will be on your, I'm throwing myself on the mercy of the court. But basically, last time we had a situation where we had to make a choice, which resulted in me gaining corruption because I made the mistake of acting not in character, but taking an action that I thought would facilitate the adventure. So I fucked up. So now, knowing that, he's coming into this, he feels this immense shame for failing the Emperor. And the thing is, mutants, the very existence of mutants, is a heresy against the Emperor's will. So I was going to say last time, but I didn't want to be too snarky because I was already sleep deprived and in a bad mood. I didn't want to get too snarky, but I was going to say, if I don't immediately attack these mutants in this bar, are you going to give me more corruption points? But I didn't say it.
It's good that
I
you
didn't say
didn't, because I would have made you roll another corruption test.
So, but that was the thing. It's like I was tempted to immediately start just killing these guys because that's part of my creed. So I would want to put it to you that my trigger finger would be ready, and I would be about to do that anyway because I cannot suffer a mutant to live as an Astartes.
Not only am I going to allow you to get back a point of glory, you now have 2 glory in your communal pool. I'm going to award you a wrath point for playing like your character. And as a born and raised Catholic, you clearly thought about it. You said your Hail Marys. I absolve you of your sins. There you go.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
You said your Hail Marys.
So you have 2 glory to play with. It still leads to the point of who wants to go first.
Okay.
Let's just have Azrael go.
Okay, great.
Start kicking ass, dude.
So Azrael, like, as this is happening, like, he's planning to do this regardless of what they do. But as they're gearing up to ambush us, he starts saying, let me do the voice. Hold on. He starts saying,
While vile mutants still draw breath, there can be no peace. While obscene heretics' hearts still beat, there can be no respite. While faithless traitors still live, there can be no forgiveness. For the Emperor!
and he pulls his auto pistol and at one of the mobs.
Excellent. Now, are you going to just shoot normally at them and hope you get higher? So shooting mobs is interesting. Let's talk about that real quick before you roll. You basically, once you hit a mob of people, every icon that exceeds the mob's defense hits extra individuals within the mob. So if you roll well, you'll be hitting multiple people and taking out a bunch of them. You can help kind of help yourself hit more members of the mob guaranteed with a spray shot, but that's a salvo, which would need you to reload the next turn, and it might
which
be
I
something you
can't
don't
do
want
with
to
the bolt pistol. I can't do that with the bolt pistol anyway.
Got it.
It's like, yeah. Dum 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 dum.
All right.
So that is my ballistic skill, which is 7. Roll. Okay, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 successes. An exalted icon. Actually, an exalted icon on a regular die, an exalted icon on the wrath die.
Whoa.
Okay, so a total number of successes is what again?
8.
8. All right. So with a defensive 2, you have 6 successes more than you need in order to do this. Would you like to shift any of your exalted icons?
I will shift the. Well, we get a glory point for the one on the wrath die,
you now
and
have
I'm gonna
3
shift
glory.
the other one.
That's a
I'm gonna
critical
shift
hit,
the other
right?
one.
When you attack,
that's
and
also a
get
crit.
Sick,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a crit. So we go to the crit
right?
table.
Yeah, we'll get there. I just want to see. We want to resolve the shifts first.
That's huge.
Yeah, I'm gonna shift. I'm gonna shift the other exalted one too, so which will still give me plenty of extra damage dice.
Okay. So do you want to add plus 2 extra damage dice? You're shifting 2 dice to get 2 extra damage dice.
Well, no, I'm shifting 1 exalted to get another glory point.
Oh. Okay.
Right. Oh, and wait.
Yeah, that'll get you back up to 4 if you do that. You're getting 1 automatically by rolling 1.
We
on
get
the
one
wrath die.
automatically. I think you could just use it for damage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna use it for damage. Okay. So that's 2 extra dice. Is that right? Extra damage dice.
Correct, extra damage dice. And if you get a 4 or a 5, you add 1 damage for each one. And if you get a 6, you add plus 2 damage.
Okay. 2 successes. So 12 damage.
Jesus. Why don't you roll me on top of that a D66? Yes.
Okay.
Oh man, this is gonna be so good. Azrael Unleashed.
Oh, 42. The answer to everything.
Vicious vivisection. The fury of this blow causes horrific pain, dissecting pieces of the foe's body in a scene of carnage and woe. Effect. Target suffers plus 1d3 mortal wounds. Glory, this is another thing you could have waited to spend the glory on, or you can spend glory now if you want. Plus 1 mortal wound for every glory you spend. I will tell you that with 6 successes over what you needed, so after shifting, you kept the extra damage dice, so you had 6 over their defense, minus 2 for the ones you shifted. You destroy 4 out of the 5 members of Megam's mob. And at the end of their turn, they are going to have to make a check to not flee, the one remaining member of this mob. They're just standing there covered in guts and viscera, just completely red as the rest of the people around them all explode.
Yeah, I can just see this. Yeah. So.
Yeah, like the ammo in like a bolter is made for heavily armored, like crazy powerful targets. So hitting like a normal person, they
In a bar.
they burrow in and explode. So it's just there's just like exploded guts everywhere.
I could just see the image. Like they start this fight, they backstab Britannicus, and Azrael just like does his speech, and it's just like, and the people just start exploding around the bar. It's so fucking awesome.
Can I spend a glory to seize the initiative and go?
You could.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And I'm just gonna try and do something fun for the scene. So Wombat just turns to Iota and Rex, and it's like, "I'll be back." And I want to try and hit the deck in the commotion of all these bodies going everywhere, and start crawling on the floor stealthily to be able to sneak up on one of these groups and just start going crazy with my power blades.
Yep. So if you want to roll a stealth, that's a combat action, and that'll set your score for the scene.
Great. Oh, I mean,
You juice it
I
up.
rolled 7 dice. 5 of them were 2s. One 1 and a 4 on the wrath die. So I got 1 success.
Oh my
So it's like, I'll be back. And then I just hit the floor and hit my teeth on a table.
Knock a bunch of glasses off the bar as you're driving down.
gums.
You take a mouthful of viscera as you're saying it from one of the exploded mobs.
You know what I'll do? Because that was just so bad. I will spend a wrath point and re-roll all my failed dice.
Yeah, because right now everyone sees you.
Right.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and a 6, 4, 5. So 6 total successes.
Excellent. So that's a pretty good. That's not quite as good as the stealth score you had going into the scene with the corpse tenders, but still an awesome stealth, and should set you up for some success later on.
Yeah, and I'm moving along the floor over to a group that hasn't been attacked yet.
Perfect. All right, so you'll return to your normal initiative order next round, but you actually interrupted Diomedes himself from going, and he kind of is taken back by you flopping over the table and knocking over all these glasses, but then immediately doing like a barrel roll on the floor underneath another table and getting out of his sight. And it is his turn to fire. He is going to fire his hand cannon at, let's do 1 through 4 again.
I'm out of this.
1, Kate.
Come and get me.
Oh, I imagine one of those hand cannons where the hand comes off and it turns into a cannon.
5, 6. All right. You just see this enormous magnum with Desert Eagle 5-0 printed on the side of it. No
Desert
successes.
Eagle.
I'm not even shitting. Well, 1 success. 1 success. I'm guessing you don't have a defensive 1, right?
I have a defensive 2.
Man. Wow.
Wow.
Amazing.
So Diomedes steps up and has clearly false bluster and bravery as he points out the gun at you, and just instead of a bullet coming out, it's like a blammo Joker style like thing that comes out of the end of it. That is his turn. It will now move on to the next agent. Who would like to go next?
Do you want to finish your turn, Troy, or should I go because he tried
That
to
was
shoot
his turn.
me?
That was my turn, right?
Oh,
I didn't,
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll go
I
next
wasn't
round,
gonna do
yeah.
any. My free action was to talk to you guys. I'll be back.
I mean, just reactively, I feel like Iota wants to shoot back at him.
Oh, this is interesting, though. I'm thinking, should the scum mob go now? At a certain point, 2 are going to go at the same time. But since you seize the initiative, I'm going to make them go at the end of the turn. I think that's the most tactically advantageous to you, and will reward Wombat for acting when he did. So go ahead, Kate.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes for shooting my galvanic rifle.
Yeah.
At Diomedes?
5 successes.
Are you shooting at one of the mobs or at Diomedes?
Diomedes.
Okay. Diomedes has a defense of 1. Tell me how much damage you do.
All right, so it's 10 damage plus 1 extra damage die, and I don't get any. So never mind. I was going to ask you, do I roll my wrath die for that? But I guess that doesn't matter. It's just damage.
I think you always roll a wrath die whenever you make a roll.
Oh, because I
just for your
rolled.
extra damage dice?
Not for extra damage.
Not for extra damage dice? Okay,
cool.
perfect.
Because I rolled a 1.
Okay, good.
That
So it's
would've
not a
been terrible.
complication.
Okay.
So it's 11 total damage.
Okay, so there is only 5 resilience on Diomedes. So 6 goes through. He has 3 wounds. I'm going to spend a ruin to roll 3d6 determination. Let's see if I can avoid him exploding from this galvanic rifle dart. 2, 2, 1. Diomedes himself is hit, and standing behind him is the paperboy you wouldn't buy the extra newspaper from, and he is covered with blood and guts. And as he realizes what's happening, the eye patch Diomedes was wearing spins in the air and lands on the paperboy's face. Wow. I was really worried about murdering you guys in there. Well, this is a real great calibration battle anyway.
We are. I was going to say heroes, but that didn't sound right. And then I was going to say badasses, and that kind of felt good, but not quite. I don't know.
We're bad heroes.
We're
Bad
killers.
heroes.
Yeah.
Bad heroes.
Well, the scum mod number 2 gets to go next. This mob is led by the muscular man with a pseudopod peeking out of his robes. I'm going to refer to him, the leader of this mob, as Jeffrey Toobin. This is also a mob of 5 people and will also lash out at a random individual. Here it comes.
Dude, this is so perfect. Every time you mention like the new mob and then the leader, I can picture like just the camera going like, shoof, and then it's like slow motion, and then he comes up with like the people behind him who are like, about to throw down.
I love the carnage so much. Mass carnage. There's no other game we get to do stuff like this so far. Like, this is so great.
Joe, I love your enthusiasm there, but the dice gods did not love it as much because a 3 came up on the die again. This mob is going to target you as well. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Should have hit the deck.
So the first round of combat, this threat may substitute their stealth for weapon skill or ballistic skill test. So they're going to use this as their one opportunity to shoot at you. Let's see. Oh, jeez. Here it comes. 6, 6, 6. Hail Satan. So that is 6, 7 successes.
Oh God. I have a 2 defense.
Okay.
Oh. Ooh.
They are also shooting with a auto pistol. They will do 8 points of damage.
Oh my God.
8 points of damage. Okay, so this would put me to dying. So now I have to do determination again.
Yep.
To try to withstand these wounds, the auto-dogmatic cortex just being like, you must stay alive and serve the Emperor. Put it to your will. And he's going to try to sustain this damage to his mind instead of his body. 3, 3, 3. It all goes through, and he falls to the ground, and he's dying.
Can you have a wrath? Spend a wrath.
Yes, I will. Yes. I have 1 wrath left, so I'll spend a wrath die, or a wrath point. And here we go. 3 successes. So he negates 3 of the 4 that got through and only takes 1 wound.
Amazing.
But 3 shock. So he's at 5 of 7 shock, Grant. You're going to get what you want, you son of a bitch. All right.
I'm just letting the die talk, baby. That's how it works on a Grant new game.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense. He's older. He came into this bar and accosted Diomedes and was like doing the talking. Mm-hmm. And Diomedes was like, you know what? You, and just like sent the mobs after him. He's just too slow to react. He's a little too slow. That's not his jam. But now he will.
Yes, it is Britannicus's turn.
Grant, can I ask you, just because I want to get caught up on what happened last time, because of the way this kid came in the bar, does this seem like a stupid inciting event that was like because like this kid's just a dirtbag and we didn't buy paper, so XYZ? Or does it seem at all like this kid is important in any way, like to our mission, that he might know Diomedes well or anything like that?
It's a simple, stupid, petty thing, like many of the people who are scum here would act. If you had a complication on your cunning roll in order to find this place, they would have started whispering and figuring everything out, and they would have warned Diomedes, and Diomedes wouldn't even been here. You passed the cunning check, you didn't have a complication, but because you didn't buy the paper from him, he is deciding to attack now. Or he came in and snitched on you, and this is why this is happening.
All right, I would like to try to stretch some mechanics here. So I would like to try a multi-action.
Okay.
Or
multi-attack.
So I think it's a multi-action, but you tell me. Basically, I want to take. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I want to move. So, Wombat flipped a table to cause this kind of hysteria, and then started sneaking away towards one of these mobs. This mob that just hit me. Basically, what I want to do is go around and take cover, like full cover behind one of these tables, which by the rules is just if more than half of your body is hidden. So basically hunker down behind the table as like a movement action. And it could, if you want me to, roll it and be an action. And then I just want to like lift over the lip with my laser pistol and fire at the mob. But making sure that I have protection first.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Cover is technically a movement action, so that's where that would fall. Flipping the table is very interesting because it doesn't really fit into everything. But I like the idea of exploring the multi-action area.
Grant, just to throw this out there, I didn't take a simple action on my turn, so my simple action could have been, it says simple action is kicking open a locked door, so that could have very well been my flipping up at the table, and then I'm just using that as the distraction.
Oh, I love that.
And then leaving it for Joe to just move to.
I love that. Then that's what happened, and so you gain cover behind this table that was.
And I don't need
over.
to roll a multi-action. I can just gain cover and then fire.
If you want to fire twice, you can do a multi-action, but if you just want to fire once at a mob, the remaining mobs are the one led by Negum, the one-person mob that Azrael exploded, the mob led by Jeffrey Tubin, and then there is the scum mob number 3, which is the one led by the Inquisitor veteran with missing legs, who we will lovingly refer to as Lieutenant Dan from the classic Forrest Gump.
I've seen that movie.
Perfect.
Whoa!
I get it.
All right.
Nice.
I'd like to invite you to be on the Franchise Fan Guys Forrest Gump arc.
There's so many movies, though. How are you going to... I don't know.
You got to find a way to cram it all into a mere 5 episodes.
All right, so I want him to get behind this table, but he's not just a soldier. He's a Lexmechanic. So tell me if I can do this. Among these mobs, he's like, it's a beautiful mind when he looks out at this bar. He sees every single thing and all of the movement. His awareness is off the charts. Is it possible for me to do a called shot and try to hit like a thing of moonshine that's like near a candle or fireplace or something and just like explode into a mob? Which basically it increases my difficulty and I can deal more damage to them if I hit.
That sounds like maybe a narrative thing. Think we spend like a glory point on that.
I'm going to
make a narrative choice.
Well, this is interesting. Skid's correct. It's a narrative declaration, and you can spend a wrath point to make one. You, however, are out of wrath right now, and it is not a shared resource like glory. However, I loved how much you talked about your augmetic speaking into your head so much and giving you the courage to continue and go through the determination you needed to, that I will reward you a wrath point just to make the narrative declaration.
Awesome.
And I'm going to spice up your narrative declaration by saying that you notice behind the Jeffrey Tubin mob a still that is making this awful shit smelling moonshine. And if you can hit it, it will explode. It will explode with the force of a frag grenade. Actually, we'll say you can make the decision. You can make it a DN3 to hit it, and it will explode with the force of a frag grenade. If you hit DN 5 and hit it exactly where it is most explosive, it will explode with the force of a frag missile and target all of the mob.
All right, I'm going for all the marbles. Got to. It's going to be hard to hit, but I'll need some sixes. I'm looking at my character sheet just to see if I have any bonuses here, but I don't think I do. All right, here we go. He takes aim. Everything seems to slow down. He zooms in on this still and fires. Oh, 3 6s, a 5. That's it.
Holy
3 6s, and a 5. So that's
Yay.
no, not on the wrath die. But I'm sorry. The wrath die's a 4, and there's another 4.
So you have 10 successes?
So that's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 successes.
Oh my god, dude.
All glory to Rex.
Your calculator mind assesses the entire scene and downloads the schematics for this still, which is made by Scum. So I don't know how you have access to like a network of Scum information, but you know precisely where the alcohol is at its most potent along the chain. And you fire this tiny little tube and it explodes with a blast rating of 10 and hits all of the mob targets.
Oh, wow. There we go.
Holy shit.
Amazing.
Jeffrey Toobin and everyone in his mob falls.
Oh my
No
god.
longer will he terrify the poor inhabitants of this bar with his pseudopod peeking out of his robe. Wow.
Wow. What do you do when you discover everyone's dead?
Is it my turn?
That's not mob number.
I've got an idea.
Jeffrey Toobin is done. It is now going to be Lieutenant Dan's turn to go. Again. Random die. Let's hope it's not a 3. All right, it is a 4. I'm going to roll an awareness check against the pool to see if they can see you. I don't think they can even make this, but let me make sure.
A lot going on.
The awareness is 6 on this group, and I'm going to say that they will be able to use their active awareness since you were visible at the beginning of the fight, and now you are hiding. So it is possible that they make us. It's a tough roll.
Right, you need some 6s.
1, 2, 3.
What was the stealth you ended up with?
7. Or, no, I think I got 6, yeah. Last time it was.
All right, 2 successes, 3, 4 successes. They do not detect you.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful. Love the
I
way
think
stealth works.
I think that means that they're going to have to re-roll to see who they target.
It's fair.
4 again. What is going on here? I'm going to say
They're
that-
looking for him. That's what's going on.
looking for him.
They're like, they know he's in there. He was right there. Where is he? There's a, what are you called? A death cult assassin?
Death Cult Assassin.
There's a death cult assassin in here. They're freaking out.
How fucking scary would that
Oh
be?
my
It's like,
God,
you
to
know
lose
there's a
sight
death
of him.
cult assassin. It's like you look over and you can't see him anymore.
It's like seeing a
That's the
spider.
scariest fucking shit I could think of.
It's like a spider on the wall. You see it, and then you look away, and it's gone.
Whoa.
Or an ant.
Yeah, next to your bed. You're just like, God damn it.
All right,
Can't sleep tonight.
They all kind of dive one way and dive another and can't find it. They roll a 2, which means they target Azrael. I was gonna have this mob rush and use their melee instead of their auto pistol, but seeing what you did to that other group and seeing a 9-foot tall Space Marine scout amongst them, they're gonna take their chances at range.
Okay.
With the bonus die, here it comes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. Does that go over your defense?
It does. My defense is 3.
Okay. Here comes the damage. That is going to be 7 plus 1 extra damage dice. That does not ping on the extra damage, so that is 7 damage. What is your resilience?
9. It's like ping, 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 ping,
Ping, ping, ping, ping, ping. Oh. And he just turns and faces them.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And as you turn and face it, before it goes back to your turn, the first mob led by Reverse Handswoman must make a DN3 resolve test at the end of the round. If they fail, the entire mobs bleeds as though suffering from the terror condition. Let's see what their resolve is.
I like this.
Normally, if a friendly elite or adversary is within 10 meters, the scum mob gains +1 resolve. Or adversary is written in there, and I guess you're an adversary, but that doesn't make sense in this account. If Diomedes was alive, they would get +1 resolve. As it is right now, they only have 1 resolve, meaning they cannot pass the DN3 resolve test, and they move as far as they can to get out of the bar.
Nice.
But are still within combat. Azrael, it is your turn.
Diomedes is dead, man. He's dead, man. Get out of here.
Azrael will not suffer a mutant to live. So he's going to fire at the fleeing mob.
Love it.
That's right in the back. So amazing.
Man, that's
They're going to paint
brutal.
the back of this door.
All right, that's 2 exalted successes on the regular dice and an exalted success on the wrath die.
Wow.
God, Skid, that's another crit.
Yeah.
So now you guys have 4 glory again. You have a crit. Roll a d66 for me.
56.
56. This one is great. You have to roll 56 exactly. There's no range on this one. Bone-shattering impact. A crippling blow smashes the foe's body, reducing arms, legs, and ribs to fractured splinters. Effect. Target suffers 1d3 plus 1 wounds. Go ahead, Skid. Tell me how much damage you roll.
3 total.
3 total damage.
3 total wounds.
3 total.
3 total. Yeah, 3 total wounds from the crit.
Yeah, it goes
From the
right
crit.
through.
Okay, on top of what was your base?
My base is. Oh wow. I had 2 extra damage dice. 1 success, so 11 damage, base damage, and then 3 from the crit.
This guy is disintegrated. Just doesn't exist anymore. And he's shot in the back too, and you can just see him saying, I want to get home to my... And he dies.
No mercy. Skid, what does Azrael say in the voice, John? Put on that voice, John, and say something.
No mercy for heretics. No mercy for mutants.
So excited.
Dude, everybody else in that bar learned a very, very valuable lesson tonight.
It's like he's still trying to make the frat, so he's like going the extra mile
Yeah.
for all these tests, you know.
This battle is clearly getting out of hand. What can Wombat Sex Table do to get it all together?
Who's left?
The mob led by the inquisitorial veteran who is missing both his legs that have been replaced by a peg leg and an augmetic leg.
Okay, so I'm going to just crawl along the ground and do a surprise attack, which is going to give me 2 bonus dice and 2 extra damage dice when I most definitely hit. And I'm going to do a multi-attack to I'll up the DN by 2, but I basically just come up, 2 power blades are extended, and I just start hacking and slashing.
So
And
that's
I'm gonna roll 10 dice.
So you're going to you're going to use up your entire pool of this. I'm going to say you're going to take a -3 for your first attack in the multi-attack and a -3 for the second attack, but
Yeah.
you're going to cancel out the multi-attack deficiency that'll happen, which will normally add 2 to the DN. You're basically canceling that out by doing these stealth attacks. So go ahead, roll for me.
All right, so yeah, I normally would have 8 with my weapon, but stealthy gives me 2 bonus dice. So here we go. I see a lot of 6s. Yes, a lot of 6s. 1, 2, 3 6s. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 success.
So did you roll any bonus dice on top of it to hit? I want to be clear, with a multi-action, that increases the DN +2. So this would be 2 normal attacks for you.
Oh, so I attack again?
You said you wanted to take 2 attacks, didn't you?
Oh, right. So I roll another 10 dice?
So no, you would roll your normal amount of dice. So when you take a multi-actions,
Right.
if you attack 2 targets, the difficulty number goes up twice for each of those. Does that make
got
sense?
that. Yeah.
So instead of adding the bonus dice, which you would normally do, I'm having this be reflected in you going flat on that. I'm letting you take
Right.
2 stealth attacks, which will give you those bonus dice to hit, and you'll get the bonus extra dice, but they're basically negated by the merit of it being a multi-attack.
All right, so if my weapon is 8, and then I have a 2 from being stealthy, that would be 10. How many dice do you want me to roll?
Oh, you know what? This is a multi-attack, so this is just +2 to the target's defense. How many?
that's what I'm saying.
There's
yeah.
no bonus dice.
Got it.
My bonus dice come from being stealthy. You get a
Perfect,
+2
perfect,
because
perfect.
I'm stealthy.
Okay, so
yeah, 10 successes.
10 successes, so that is enough to target all 5 of the mob with your first attack. Roll damage.
All right, damage is going to be straight up. It's S plus 5. So does that mean 5 dice?
Strength
plus 5.
So
Okay.
what is your strength modifier?
My strength modifier is 3, so 8 dice. And this has an AP of 2, so I'm going to cut through.
Wait. Is it extra? It's dice. Are you sure? Is that the way it is with melee, or isn't that just 8 damage?
Yeah, it should just be 8 damage.
Just 8
All right,
8
so
damage.
straight up 8 damage. But
there
then I
any
get
extra
2
dice?
I get 2 extra damage dice for being stealthy.
All right, so tell me what
and
happens
that's a
there.
6 and a 5 on the 2 extra
my
damage
God.
dice.
That's 3 extra
So
damage.
11 damage.
So 11 damage. What's 4 ED? Is that another 4 extra damage
Yes,
dice? 'Cause
That's
the
4
power-
extra dice, yeah.
So let me just roll 4 more, just to see. I'm what they call a death cult assassin.
I'm just like picturing him going up and just slitting all their Achilles tendons.
On the ground, just like...
Yeah.
All right, so it's a flat 11 plus 12, 13, 14 plus 15 damage, and it has an AP of 2, which means it like you can't. What is that? Cuts into
There's no armor on these guys. They're wearing ragged clothes. They have 5 wounds. You target all 5 of them, and I picture the scene working out. You disappear from view. You pop back up with a mustache on. You're like, "Oh, hey Terry, how you doing?" Slash his throat off. Then you pop up and talk to the next person. Slash their head off, and then you do a whirling flourish just in a circle, like an Olympic ice skater, and rip off the remaining 3 heads. Everyone in this bar besides the bartender is dead. You have beaten this combat.
In like seconds. In seconds.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You know who's not dead? The Paperboy.
Paperboy is still a witness.
And so Wombat, he just grabs a couple of the heads that fell off and he rubs them all over his face and he says, "Extra, extra, read all about it." And he just starts chucking the heads at the Paperboy.
Get out of here.
Seems very unprofessional.
Not if you're a death cult assassin is your profession.
I was about to imagine you killing all of them be brutal but beautiful with like the flourish, but then you
Yeah,
started
like a water
throwing the
dancer.
heads at them.
Yeah, the heads.
And then it just seemed petty.
did.
It is petty. I like that
Petty
you
revenge.
you throw your skills totally out of the window and become entirely unstealthy when you don't need to be, just to rub it in people's faces. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Wow, that was so much fun. I love the narrative
Man,
declaration.
I'm sweating.
I love the mega violence. I expected the mobs to maybe cause a bit more trouble. It's not really clearly written how many mobs, what's in there. So I made 3 mobs of 5 because I felt like that wouldn't be too overpowering or underpowering. I could have made 1 mob of 10, but I wanted them to go every other turn with you. And, Diomedes would have been better off if you had failed that cunning check and he had been able to leave the bar. Wow. So keep on your sheet. You have 4 glory. I only have 5 ruin now because I spent it on that 1 check. Wow.
Awesome. That was great.
That was pretty amazing. It was a great first combat. Like if this was a long campaign, that's how
Yeah.
you want the movie to start, to show how badass we are.
Yeah,
and then
see,
the next
this is
one.
the perfect tone setter for the movie. And like right now, like we're standing in this dive bar that's filled with smoke, charred corpses, blood, and bits of body.
Yeah, and there's a
It was
hole.
easy.
There's a hole in the wall that you can see people on the street out through after the still exploded from Britannicus. After the dust settles on your combat, You see what I've already described, that you've absolutely destroyed the Jolly Undertaker. Bullet holes riddle the bar, and bottles of spirit on the wall lie shattered and leak strong-smelling moonshine on the floor. You see the place where Diomedes once stood, and smoke rising out of his boots and armor where he once stood. What do you do?
Britannicus is like, he steps up from behind the table. He's just like, I'm hit. I'm injured. And he like starts to walk over towards Diomedes' corpse. He's like limping. He's got this wound in his shoulder. It's just blood. It's just like visible through his robes. But he just, his intent on his mission, he walks over to Diomedes to search his corpse.
Okay, you look around. I'm not even going to make you search anything because his body's exploded. There's nothing that he could be hiding. You're able to find a hand cannon, a shotgun, a frag grenade, and an auger array, and an augmetic eye, both of which look like something Kalia would sell. You also find a key to a hab block shanty at 187 Backstab Lane, which is where you presume he lived.
My father grew up on Backstab Lane, but it was in another system. How strange that there are 2 lanes named after one of my favorite pastimes. My father was a simple gardener.
He had nothing to do with Backstab. He just happened to live on Backstab Lane.
Yes, perhaps it was watching him toil in the fields that made me realize we were meant for something greater. The sign for the street stood at my bedroom window, and I would stare at it, and I thought, what does that word mean? And when I found out, I knew I wanted to do it for my life.
Troy, that's a wrath point. I was reluctant when you gave up at the end. You broke character when you just laughed at the end. If you'd stayed in it, I would have just given it without qualification. But that has an asterisk next to it, that wrath point.
What if he lived on Baker Lane? He would have had a whole different life. But it was
happened to be on Backstab Lane.
It's ordained.
Death cult assassin.
As Azrael, as this is happening, as they're searching the body, he walks up and he grabs a chunk of muscle or like organ, like kidney of the boss, and picks it up, like peels off his rebreather mask and starts eating it.
Wow.
He's going to utilize the functions of his what is it? The omophagia organ, through which he can learn genetic memories of the person whose flesh he eats.
My God, that's right out of Divinity.
If there's anything he can learn from that, he will learn it now.
That's amazing.
You are able to, as you consume this lesser being's organs, and as it's dissolved into your omophagia, you see memories that he has. Memories of him as a pimp for the local sex workers, treating them poorly, trying not to pay them in money for their services, but paying them with drugs instead. Cheating people left and right. You see him doing this all day, hustling hard. He was an awful man, but to reach the position of prominence he did, that he was so proud of as you came to meet him, he worked hard for it. And at the end of each of those long days treating people awfully, exploiting them, and getting richer for it, not much richer, but richer than everyone else around him, you see him through his eyes as his grubby little boots walk up and insert the key that you saw Britannicus pick up into his hat block, open it, and enter into a room. you no longer have to roll any checks to find 187 Backstab Lane. You can lead them exactly there with the memory you unlocked. You basically opened a video of like a Google Maps direction straight there.
Awesome.
That's
I
great.
know where this heretic lived. It was a cancer on the underbelly of these people. This was a righteous act. Let us go.
Before we go, Iota, I think, is going to go up to Britannicus because I think they're buds. They probably have the same tech priest leader. So she's going to go up to you and be like, I'm not that great at healing wounds, but if you'd like me to try.
Then stay away from me, you fool.
No. Yes, please do.
So I have a 4 total for Medicae, and to heal wounds, I need to make a DM3 Medicae test.
Yep.
So like I could do it, so I'm gonna try.
I'm going to say that Joe can also use his statistical certainty
I was
to
just
help
gonna
you
do
out
that.
there.
Yeah.
I think
Stole
we
my
did it
thunder there,
wrong last time. I'm going to allow you to do your Medicae. What is your total Medicae?
4 total.
Well, for Joe, sorry, I wasn't clear.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's my fault. Joe, what is your Medicae? You have a 1 in Medicae, and that is modified by your intellect. So you have a total of
I have a
6.
6.
Okay, so you will be able to provide 6 bonus dice to her. You will subtract your rank from that 6. One of those bonus dice becomes an automatic icon. That's how the statistical
And that's what we did.
Oh, we did? Okay. I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
I just, at the time, the skill I happened to use that one time, I had like a 2 or a 3. It was like a very low skill I was using to help, but yeah. That is, that's exactly how
So
it
you have a success right now, 1 icon. Add an additional 5 to your roll.
So 5 dice plus your 3. So now you can roll 8 die.
Plus my 4, so I got 9.
Oh, right, 4.
Are you healing wounds or removing shock?
Healing
Restoring
wounds.
shock. Okay.
So 1,
You would
2,
need a med kit to remove the shock.
Or a stim. Stim can help.
I've got
I
the
have
one
3
that's
doses.
automatic. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 total. That's DN3, yes.
Great. Did you have any exalted icons?
I did. 1 is exalted, so that means I can restore 1 extra wound. So I restored 2 of your wounds.
Great.
And I had 2 wounds, so I'm back to 0.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Perfect. And now, Grant, how do we deal with shock?
There's either rest, which is rare. Having a med kit helps you do that. With a Medicaid check, you can restore shock. Troy, tell us about your stim packs.
Yeah, so I got 3 doses of stim. Am I the only one with stim?
I don't have
Yeah, I don't have
Oh.
stim.
Well, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Get over here. Stop acting the fool. I know you have it. I've seen it before.
All right. My father always told me to share. He was a kind man. A simple farmer.
I thought you said gardener.
Yeah.
They're very different.
Not to him.
All right, so you can use stim as a cocktail of high-tech combat drugs, often stored in a single-use injector. Can be used as part of a Medicaid test to restore 1d3 plus 3 shock.
Great. Who do you want to do the same thing you just did? Is that the highest kind of area of success where you give 8 total rolled with Kate, or is it better if you do it? How do you
Yeah,
wanna-
that's better. If Kate rolls and I assist her with my statistical certainty, and then she uses the stim, that's going to give us the best possible result.
He pulls it out, and it's covered in the blood and viscera of the 5 people he just killed.
Yeah.
Here you are.
It's better than using a medikit because that's just rank plus 1. This 1d3 is nice.
Okay, great. But we don't have a med kit. So wait, can we
You
skip
don't
the
need
med
it.
kit if we have the stim?
It's
Got it.
even better.
Perfect. All right, so you still have to roll though.
What do I roll to do that?
Same
Same
thing you
thing.
did.
So roll the same with 9 dice. 9 dice was it? Yeah.
Yes.
And you already
9,
have 1 success.
1 success. Let's go at that again.
1 exalted, or I'm sorry, 1 icon, I should say.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. None of them are exalted.
Great, and you can't shift exalteds there. At least it's not written in the rule book. So Roll a 1d3.
Oops. 1d3. 2.
So that's 5 plus 2.
And I had 5 shock.
It's 7 shock total healed with everything there.
1d3
Awesome.
plus
Back
3.
to 0-0. And he's just
Wow.
like, let's go. Stands up, white, stringy hair in front of his face.
The stem also has a scum keyword on it. So there might be a fun little consequence of using stems too many times, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. What do you guys want to
Be
do?
addictive. Well, that takes an hour. Regroup, right?
I was assuming we did that as part of a regroup, so it would take time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during that hour, I would say, Israel, as Iota is working on me, call him over. Just say, I'm a bit tied up at the moment, but if you would be so kind, go to that bartender and make certain he never serves a mutant again.
Yes.
And he goes over to the bartender and he says,
The crime of giving comfort and aid to enemies of the Imperial throne. I sentence you to death.
and he takes out his chain sword. Just rips him in half with the chain sword.
That's not how I interpreted it.
I didn't either. I love it.
Wombat jumps over the table and starts squeezing out his blood into shot glasses.
Who's ready to do one?
Turns it upside down.
Yeah, I'd say you'd probably do that a bit more secretly with Azrael around, but yes, it is wonderful. He was just carrying one of those blue crates filled with like hot pint glasses that just came out of the washing machine from behind the bar. Right as that happened.
Just a blue collar guy.
Poor guy. It turns out he wasn't the bartender, he was the bar back. The bartender had run out during the fight.
Or they were just switching shifts.
Do not feign innocence. You know your crimes.
His body twitches one last movement out and then dies.
Oh, God. That is not what I meant at all. It was amazing. I thought you were just going to give him a stern talking to, but chainsword, it turns out. Chainsword. All right, so let's head to 187 Backstab Lane with a very clear mission in hand. And also we're going to take like the augmented eye and anything of value that we could give to Kalia.
Kalia, yep.
Bam. Playing the role of Grant Note Taker this session will be Joe.
Beautiful. That brings a tear to my eye, Joe. So you're able to follow Azrael with great ease as he trods forward through there. You see people like shut blinds as you walk by, close doors, terrified of what happened at the Jolly Undertaker, and you get to the location, navigating through the gothic bone-laden back alleys to find a filthy lean-to composed of bone and scrap. You see a closed door.
Here it is. He'll fish the key out of his robes and hand it over to Azrael.
Azrael takes it and tries to open the door.
The door is locked. Roll an awareness check.
Oh.
And it unlocks as you put it in, but roll an awareness check.
Could be trapped.
Can we all roll awareness?
Do you just want Skid to do this, Grant, or do you want all of us
unless
to roll?
you guys are near the door. If you guys all want to be near the door, you can join.
2 icons, 1 exalted icon, 4 successes.
Okay.
One success. That's it.
1 success from Iota.
5 successes from Britannicus.
Oh wait, 6 successes.
6 successes. Okay. So Azrael, you sense something is wrong. Britannicus backs you up on it. You have a feeling something is amiss with this door, even with the key.
Wait. Do you see it?
I do.
Step back. Just think this through.
Wombat,
sorry, go ahead.
why don't you roll me a stealth check?
With pleasure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Wrath. Here we go. 6 on the Wrath die, and only one other success. So, 6 on the Wrath die. What do I get?
Okay.
3 successes.
Why don't you spend that glory you just got from that on the 6
Okay.
and roll another die.
Oh. Just one.
This is a very important...
Can glory do that?
Yes, you can add to your... you can spend glory after a roll to increase the die pool. You cannot re-roll those, though, if you were to spend wrath later.
I rolled a 5, so I rolled a success on that bonus.
Perfect. So with
4
that,
successes.
I'm going to have you shift that exalted die over.
See ya.
You detect a shotgun trap on the other side of this door. And you see a pulley system that was kind of creaking open, like in Ferris Bueller's Day Off when the mannequin would like turn over on its side so the parents wouldn't see it. You see that, and if you reach up, you're able to just slice it with your blades.
Azrael, hold! Stick a power blade in there.
The
Well done, Death Dealer.
He's got blood stains all over his mouth.
From the blood shots.
Yes. And the shots of blood he
From
did
the
at
blood
last
shooters.
bar. He's covered in viscera.
you have avoided the shotgun trap, which would have gotten all of you after you all got up there to do the awareness check.
Ooh, baby.
As you enter the shanty, and as that wire goes from being taut to totally loose and the shotgun kind of points down at the ground, your eyes slowly adjust to the dim, smoky light inside. The room is strewn about with broken servo skulls and ammunition. Adjoining the shanty is a collapsed sepulchre spire that has been converted into something strange.
Is that heresy? Is that like an idol of some kind? Is it like a
We
worship?
recognize it as something.
It's really strange. Like, I don't know. You get the feeling like you might want to roll an awareness check on it.
Or a scholar check? Or no awareness? Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of featureless, so...
One
I'll do
success and a 1 on the red.
Oh, man. 7 successes.
Ooh. Five successes and a exalted success on the wrath die.
Okay, so if someone else can keep track of this, because it's a lot for me. You guys have 5 glory again.
I have it.
Perfect. So as you are able to pass the DN5 awareness check, you see some kind of weird door in the sepulcher that you feel like you could pry open.
Okay. Yeah, if it's Britannicus that sees it, he'll definitely point it out to Azrael, assuming that, he's going to have the strength to open it.
Yeah, and that's no problem for Azrael. As you pry the door open, inside you see a roughly cobbled together Prometheum automobile with large wheels, kind of like it looks like a grimdark Hot Wheels car. Like the ones that didn't look like real cars, they look like big monster truck, kind of like Ratfinky. And it's adorned with
Like,
an inordinate amount of skulls.
Like cartoons.
So I guess this was like a garage for Diomedes.
This is totally badass, I have to admit. Who pumped Ethel?
Could I do a tech check to see if it's in good condition?
You can.
He'll check it over. I got 3 successes and a 1 on the wrath die.
Okay, so a complication. You're able to see that the vehicle is liable to break down, and as you're kind of under the chassis looking it over, it looks like it'll explode unless piloted by someone like Diomedes, either through some alteration in the machine spirits or some genetic code hack. I'm gonna say that it backfires into your face and just covers you with soot. And then we just see
Blinded for one round.
Does anybody have a good piloting skill? I have nothing.
I have a 4.
I have a 4.
I also have a 4. Bunch of equal shitty pilots.
I never get my license.
Do we think we want to use this vehicle?
I don't believe it'll be able to. It needs to be, I think, unlocked with a genetic code of some kind. Or we could try to hack it.
Having ingested the former owner, would I have any advantage in that regard?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, if this works, that's
let's
great.
say you scrape like a piece of his like epiglottis off of your chest armor and swallow it again.
Yeah.
Just keep it around. Just keep snacking on it for info.
And you
So gross.
very luckily cut to another.
Oh, it's a stick shift.
It is a stick shift. It has a big 8-ball on top of the stick shifter.
God,
and he's just driving it down the road with one hand, and it's got one of those wheels on it that's made like out of chains. Like it's like a gold chain line. It's like one of those tiny wheels that like you hold
Like
this.
Motley Crue playing on the radio.
Tiny chain wheel.
And he is blazing down the street. There are flames coming out of the exhaust, and you see him actually driving through the boneyards where like a lot of like different families are buried. But yeah, you see that as he does it, he has a genetic code or something magical that you don't understand. The vehicle basically will self-destruct if anyone else uses it, and you've eaten the last piece of him that might have been useful in terms of overriding it, so it seems like it's kind of a lost cause now.
Okay.
We cannot use it, but I think I know where he took it habitually.
And
Okay.
you get the sense from that he would have been an excellent guide to get you there if things had worked out differently. As you turn around,
Wah, wah.
I'm so sorry, Diomedes.
that's a newer augmented organ in the new Space Marine recruits. It's called the sad trombonium. It goes off whenever something doesn't go to plan. You turn around. Go
we
ahead.
need the genetic material. We can't try to override it without that.
It would
I
be
think
like
we
a
could attempt it, but-
DM13 check. Like it would be impossible
Yes.
to get.
We could risk blowing it up while we're here. Let's not do that.
Okay.
But you clearly see behind you, and I think Iota notices this first, a workbench lit by flickering clamp lights, and it's surrounded by makeshift tools. And on it, you see a conjoined skull, servo skull.
Yes.
Oh.
There we go. Can I please go over to it and try to access it?
Sure. As you walk over there, maybe alongside, hand in hand with Iota, since you go to the same church.
Yes. Iota,
We're
come with
friends.
me. Yep. We give each other a high five. Found it.
Found it.
You pick up the servo skull and examine it like you're in Hamlet or something, and you see
To
that
be or not to be.
Alas, for Iota. I knew him, Horatio.
you see that much of the wiring in this, I mean, you're looking at it now, and you've seen a bunch of them sneaking through the Priory of the Sacred Form. You've seen tons of them swimming around at the Librarium Mortem. Magnificent servo skull, which you would love for your own use as a Lexmechanic, and I'm sure Iota would love as a Skitarius. All of the wiring has been damaged. They're unable to fly and unresponsive. But you can give me a tech check if you want to try to repair it, I guess.
What is your tech at, Iota?
6.
Pretty good.
And y'all are modifying, like you just as a reminder to listeners as well. There's a score in the given skill, and then it's modified by an attribute as well. So I'm assuming that is modified.
And are you? Is there a max die pool of 10?
No.
Okay. Then why don't we work together? And you do it. I have an 8 in tech, but I'll give you an automatic icon and 7 bonus die. So you can roll 13 die, and you already have 1 success.
4, 5, 6,
Yeah, and this
7.
is
So when we put our heads together, we are ridiculous when it comes to tech.
This is an instance where it really makes sense. There are going to be places where statistical certainty will make less sense, particularly in combat, and the bonuses will not be as high. But anything involving tech or certain like knowledge checks or hacking or anything like that, I love the use of it for stuff like this.
Cool.
So it's 13 total. One of them is already an icon, so it's 12 now.
No, it's
Okay,
14. One of them is already an icon, so it's 13 actual die you roll.
4, 5, 6. I'm gonna roll 7 at first, and then I'm gonna roll 6 because I don't have that many dice. Okay.
Come on, Kate. I thought we told you to come prepared to the session.
Listen. I got.
She said listen, and she didn't say anything else.
I have 2 exalted, and then 1 regular. So that's 1, 2, 3,
So that's
4,
a
5 so far.
5er plus the automatic, so we're at 6, and now roll another 6.
With my wrath, or the wrath die.
Yep.
Ooh, 1 on the wrath die, but then 2 more exalted and 1 more regular.
Wow.
So another 5. So that's
another
11
5.
successes, but a complication.
Okay, a complication on top of that. Hold on 1 second. I actually want to use this chart I found for complications. It's interesting. I like coming up with them as well, which is what I did earlier. But the complication on page 163, let me pull this out. Kate, you're going to need to roll just 1 more die at the end of this. Roll D6 for me.
1d6. I got a 5.
Harsh environment. The environment changes. So I see a monsoon starting outside, just rain happening. Let's say that it collapses some of the masonry around the sepulcher, thereby blocking off your access to the motor vehicle you saw earlier.
Look, the sky weeps. For it knows only more death will come.
Let's get out of here. It's crumbling upon us.
Wait. Was this workbench outside of the sepulcher? The
Outside
garage?
of the sepulcher, yeah. The lean-to is against the
so
sepulcher.
the garage collapses, cutting off our access to that sweet, sweet car.
Yep. But
Grant, if I may, I may give you a tip as a game master. Unsolicited. Don't ever put a sweet-ass hot rod with skulls all over it in front of the PCs and then not let them use it. It's devastating and super lame.
you were on the track to being able to use it until Kate rolled a 5 on harsh environment.
Yeah,
So-
no, I know.
I
I mean,
thought
the
it
other
was
option would have
over.
been that it could have fallen on one of you and really fucked you up, but I decided to, just take off a narrative possibility of using a sweet ride.
Of your sweet ride. That's all because you're 1 on the wrath die, Kate. Come on. Get it
No,
together.
it's not. It's because Skid's character ate the last piece.
That's
of-
true. That's true. You know what? We should start some real party infighting over the car.
Yeah.
Just start ordering viscera of our deceased enemies while we're
my
at
God.
it, just in case from now on.
Because of you that this weather started.
I remember him buying it. I should get dibs.
This is like when my eldest sister was 23 and my younger elder sister was 16, and there was not a vehicle for them. They had to share a vehicle. It was just absolutely, it caused all sorts of infighting. It's very familiar.
I can only imagine.
Having flashbacks. But Iota is absolutely balletic in her repair of this servo skull. They grab the makeshift tools and pull over a magnifying glass and on a swing arm for repair that kind of feels more like surgery than tech work. But with surgeon's hands, you work furiously but gracefully. You pull replacement wire from kind of these spools hanging behind the workbench, snip them off. They're mismatching the original components, but you pull power down from a bare wire hanging next to the clamp lights, and then you jumpstart the servo skull. Click. The crimson eye of the servo skull lights up and scans all of you.
He says, Omnissiah has found a way. Hello.
And the servo skull kind of nods. It looks stressed at first, flitting around like a hummingbird with what seems like evasive maneuvers. But then you hear a ding come from the conjoined servo skull. It seems to have identified you all as allies, and it cuddles up to Iota like a puppy dog.
Look at Kate. She's gonna shed a tear.
Oh no! It's so cute.
Oh my
It's like-
God! It's Crimson
nuzzling
Eye.
you.
It's so cute.
It went ding.
Remember when it went ding?
So
Wow. Okay.
We'll speak to it. Can we? Do you speak to a servo skull, or do you just interact with it like a computer, or?
do you interact with it more like a computer? You don't currently have that access. You know that a Beba would have it, but you feel like it would follow you back to a Beba.
Yeah, we should just bring this back before we do anything else.
It seems to have taken a liking to you. Let's go. It'll follow.
Let's bring it back to the library, right? We're going back to the library with this.
Yeah, and on the way there...
But first we want to hit up Kalia and get that key and drop off some more stuff. And then we can go to the library and get the location, the precise location of the mausoleum. All right. Now we got a plan. Is there anyone you guys want to kill in the marketplace area?
Every
Anyone
fourth
with a
person.
car that has a skulls all over it and
And the
Yeah.
keys on them.
And their keys on them. We should confiscate their car in the name of the Emperor.
yes.
All right, we'll go to Kalia first, Grant.
You navigate your way back to Kalia. You're able to find her at her shop. She's still working on tools, finishing up a transaction, and she awaits you.
Clea, we've found some things of value you may like.
And he just drops the bloody augmetic eye of Diomedes hits the table, and he'll also drop. There was something else, wasn't there? No, is that the only thing that she would really be interested in, or was there another?
There was an auger array as well, which is an
Auger
item
array.
you might be interested in. And if you drop that out too, she's totally not taken aback by the blood or gore at all. And she pulls up the eye and looks at it, interposes it between her own eye and the moon, and kind of causes this strange lunar eclipse of her own making, and says, "I always said Diomedes lacked vision. Well." She flips it up in the air, spins it on her finger like a Harlem Globetrotter, puts it in her pocket. "This transaction's done. I assume you would like this now?" She pulls the Gelfradus
Yes,
family
please. He'll put out his hand,
key. Enjoy.
take the key, and then he'll take back the augmetic. What is it? The what array?
Auger array.
Auger.
The auger array. Just sort of slip it back up. Is that something we would not have given over? I don't know what it is. Is it a sweet piece of tech?
So I have one of those, and the auger
okay.
array, what does it do? It allows you to either have an auspex or a diagnoster. It kind of grants you a sixth sense or an ability to have one. So like
I know Auspex is like radar.
yeah.
Yeah. Or motion detector.
I
Yeah.
keep forgetting that I have.
I think
Okay.
that
I
would,
have an
the masquerade.
auspex. I didn't even realize I had an auspex.
I think that was the most Warhammer 40K thing ever, that Kate said what it gave you and then had to explain the things that it gave you. It was like, oh, aspects are this. It's like so much like things hidden behind things all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, first time I ever heard that word was in Vampire the Masquerade.
Oh, really?
AUSPEX? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a.
It
character
refers
had it.
to it's the Roman practice of taking the auspices of, the reading entrails and stuff like that. That's what it refers to.
Also, with the auger array, you can implant it twice, taking the auspices or diagnostics each time. So,
Okay. Well, let's just take it for now, and we'll move along, and we'll head to the library.
Awesome.
Good doing business with you.
Yes, a pleasure.
For the Emperor.
For the Emperor, she says half-heartedly. Please don't kill me.
I didn't greet you, and I will not say goodbye.
Isn't that a form of a great... All right.
His turn.
So you make your way through the winding gutter scum hab blocks, through Memento Square, and back to square one at the Librarian Mortem. You're able to orient yourselves quickly. Once you're inside, you find Archivist Abeba right back where she was, behind an enormous stack of scrolls and a teetering pile of data slates. She sees you walk in. She sees the Kalidas nuzzling up to Iota and says, "By the Emperor's holy sword, you've done it!" She gets up, she knocks all the scrolls and data slates off in just like a totally out of character way for an archivist of her power. "You've brought back the Kalidas, what an enormous release!"
I also taught it a trick while we were on our way back. Listen. So she turns to the server and she goes, "Servitor, speak," and it goes, "Beep."
"You must be truly touched by the Emperor's light to teach the Kalidas such a wonderful trick. I can't imagine what this will do for the library. I can't imagine what it'll do for my life. Thank you so much, Iota."
You're welcome.
I can imagine what it can do for Kate. It's called a Wrath Point. Boom!
Yeah.
Nice work, Kate.
That's true. Joe, you have -1 wrath points for rallying for someone else's wrath points now. So you'll need to earn 2 before you can use one.
Take one from Joe and give it to Kate.
That's fair.
The Kalita servo skulls beep, nuzzle Iota one last strangely affectionate time before floating towards Archivist Abeba and then nuzzling her like a puppy. "It's time now. Welcome home, Kalida's twin." She pets the top of their skull. "Now go, retrieve the records pertaining to the Gelfradus family crypt." The conjoined servo skulls float almost gracefully into what looks like a school of bioluminescent fish, the thousands of servo skulls servicing the Librarian Mortem and illuminating the racks hundreds of feet above you by candle. It kind of merges into traffic like a hover car from the Fifth Element in behind these other servo skulls, darting in and out of lanes. If you squint your eyes, you can just make out the servo skull as it slowly stops in front of a wall of records, kind of a red laser popping out of its crimson eye and scanning the racks. It extends a small mechanical grabber arm and retrieves a tome. In an instant, it dive bombs gracefully through the air, navigating the traffic of the other servo skull, and makes its way home to you. "There it is, I told you, the Kalidas are wise and dependable. Good Kalidas." Abeba snatches the tome from the grabber arm. "Please, perhaps I can aid you. Lexmechanic, I think you might be the best suited for this in interpreting this tome." And it's in like high Gothic, so any gaps, even though you're like a computer, any gaps you have in linguistical translating she'll help you with. Roll a DN5 scholar check.
All right. Let me look this over.
Oh no. I'm 1 short, right? Yeah. I got 4 successes on 8 die.
Well,
Oh no.
the good news is that Abeba aids with her knowledge. So what is her scholar? She has a scholar score of 8. So let me just see where it gets to from there.
Help me out here. What is this phrase? I don't
1,
never seen it
2,
before.
3, 4, 5, 6. She reads the whole thing and memorizes it
All
before
right.
you understand what's going on.
Show off.
But together you read through the tome and are able to synthesize its contents immediately with your computer-esque brain. Of the greatest interest to you are the frequent clashes between Augustus, last of the Gelfradus line, and the Adeptus Mechanicus, of which Kate and Iota are a member. The Adeptus Mechanicus accused the family of using heretical xenotechnology. The location and partial blueprints of the tomb are also available, indicating that Augustus is buried in the lower crypts with several redacted security systems.
Oh. Cool. Okay. Now, we don't know why. Who sent us on this mission? I mean, I know that I don't remember the exact name, but what is her affiliation? Does she just like work for the Emperor? Like, is that, or is it a different division that she works for? The woman who sent it.
Perdita Mendax works for the Inquisition. She's an interrogator.
Okay.
And you were chosen, and why I chose you, why I've told you to be quiet about your connections to the Inquisition, is you were chosen because if shit goes wrong with this mission, it won't be traced back to the Inquisition.
Oh, got it. Do my allies know that this is an Inquisition mission? That she's from the Inquisition? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so we wouldn't think there's any funny business in looking for this heretical family stuff. It's like the Inquisition is trying to purge something or something. Like, we don't think our boss is dirty by finding this out, is what my question.
Not right now. Not from anything you've seen. I mean, maybe, but talking to her, if you find it and hand it over and something strange happens, who knows? But as of right now, it just seems like a mission to acquire an artifact that would be incredibly dangerous in the wrong person's hands.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I mean, are we... Then does that mean that we can start moving towards this place since we have a solid location?
I should approach it stealthily if there's these redacted security systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could scout ahead and give us some warning. Yeah.
I just don't... If I trigger it, I have no technical expertise, so...
My only question before we leave the library would be, is there any point in researching the security systems? Is there any hint as to what they may be or, like by name or anything like that? Is there anything on record?
They're redacted, and based off of your understanding of how things have been redacted within Imperium records, is that it would be a futile search.
There's no finding it. Okay.
Yep.
Anywhere. Okay.
FOIA request.
Yeah.
You're shit out of luck.
Yeah, so when we get there, I'll stealth and scout up ahead. Or try to, at least.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to do in the library, or do you think we should just go?
Just go.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Joe, roll me an intellect check.
I see. I knew we missed something. You guys are dumb.
I should be smart like your character.
Intellect check is 4 successes.
Britannicus realizes that there was one other key on Kalia's belt. It was the key with the giant wheel of rubber that she said was to her automobile. If you want, you could try and borrow the car, rent the car from her before heading out, and it might make your journey there easier.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So yeah, he'll remember. Wait a minute. I remember something. I think Kalia had a sweet ride as well. We should speak with her. Perhaps she'd be willing to part with it for this Auspex Array, or whatever this fucking thing is called. All right. Let's go try to trade it for her car for a few hours.
Dude, can we borrow your car? Come on, dude, be cool.
You get to
uncool.
You get to Kalia and she's like, whoa, I don't want to harsh anyone's buzz here. Of course, just hand over the Auspex, John.
Yeah. There you go. Now that, John, it made it to the 41st millennium.
What does her car look like?
Her car looks like kind of a crazy monster truck-esque, like Dodge Charger. And it has 20-foot high monster truck wheels. And it has
Charger or the Challenger?
Let's say the Challenger. It seems like, yeah, there you go. So it's a Challenger with a crew cab attached to it, like it's grossly extended, and it has like hydraulics on it that just lower the entire body of the car to the ground for you to get into.
Lost of the V8 interceptors.
Click.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, let's get into the ride. hydraulic back up there, and then just like, pummel our way straight in a straight line and not even go on the path because we don't need to.
Right. Just roll over houses, roll over other mausoleums. Just gong, 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 gong.
Who's driving?
We'll drive straight there.
Oh yeah, who's driving? Does anyone particularly want to drive? I have a 4 piloting.
We've all got 4. I'm fine not driving.
I've never received a license. I mentioned that earlier. I mean, I could try, but I don't really know what I'm doing.
Wombat, that's all right.
How do you turn this on?
He's in the back seat.
I can't tell if he's joking or not.
Since it is a Dodge Challenger, I will drive. Azrael will drive.
Fair enough.
Okay, we're giving wish fulfillment on many levels to Skid throughout this adventure.
This is the best night of my life. The best imaginary night of my life.
So Azrael kind of eases into the driver's seat,
Shotgun.
adjusts the seat, pulls it back to where he's riding real low and kind of cool. Like, it's probably not the safest way to drive, but he's in there.
Do you mind if I choose the music?
Yeah, go for it.
All right,
Be my
awesome.
guest.
Scrolls. I'm like scrolling on a fucking old iPod right
Is
now.
that an
with
iPod?
the song.
That's
Oh
like
my God.
iPod Mini? What do you?
Yeah.
What is it? What
You have
is
these
That's the
CDs
true
in here.
grim
You have like a
darkness of the
CD book.
41st millennium is there's no streaming services. It's still 99 cents a
yeah.
song.
She finds an old CD, she puts it in, and you just hear Sleep, the band, start playing Juggernaut. Everyone
Nice.
look it up. It's a great stoner metal band.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Stoner metal. Perfect.
All right, so you hop into this monster truck Challenger, and between the
Plastic
cities,
stoner metal.
between the cities of Daedalon lie the boneyards, which I mentioned earlier, which you saw Diomedes driving through. They're vast forests of graves and mausoleums of varying sizes, from simple headstones to well-off laborers, for the well-off laborers, to the towering necropoli of noble families. There are badly maintained roads between the graves, allowing mourners and pilgrims to navigate the boneyards with some success. You just blast right by them, though. There's no muffler on the back of this thing either. It's really loud.
My God.
Setting off the car alarms of every other car you drive past.
I love it.
Bear steer locals have constructed shrines at most intersections, each inlaid with skulls covered in purity seals and handwritten prayers. Many of these shrines have been co-opted with signage to aid in navigating the boneyards. So you use those signs. You use the help from the blueprints you found in the Librarium Mortem. You're using the motor vehicle to navigate these even easier. You're reducing the number of checks you have to make to get there from 4 to 2. And you're reducing the difficulty number of those checks also by 2.
Nice.
So I'm going to need you guys to make a survival check. And after every check you make, you are going to see what happens.
Do we all make it? And if you don't have a score in it, do you just use your attribute?
If you don't have a score in it, yes, it would just be the will power.
Okay.
I have a 4.
2 successes.
No successes.
Okay.
Is this like a cumulative team success? How many successes for the team?
I'm going to say that if someone makes it, you make it. But I'm not going to add you guys up.
A success and an exalted on the wrath die.
Okay. So that's still just 3 successes, though.
And another glory.
I got 4 successes.
Perfect. You both pass. I'm going to roll a d6 now to see what happens. Let me look at what that is on the table. That is going to be a... Morbid Vista, 64. Following an ascending path, the agents reach the top of a hill that rises high above the peaks of the tallest necropoli. From this height, the boundless sprawl of crypts and mausoleums can be seen clearly. Each agent needs to make a DN3 awareness check.
Ooh. That's hard for me. I need it.
I do not make it.
Oh no, Iota.
I got 4 successes. Yeah, one exalted.
Oh. What is it, the DN? What is it?
3.
I got 3.
Excellent.
And Britannica's got 6.
You will gain a +4 bonus on the next survival test you make to find the Gelfradus Necropolis. You only have 1 left. So go ahead and make that check.
Survival.
Survival again?
Yep.
Okay.
And we get a +4 bonus. Sorry, is that 4 bonus die or?
Yep.
Oh, all of us. Great.
And we all get 4 bonus die?
Yeah, I should
Yeah,
probably
we
make
just need
just
a-
one of you roll, but I'll make all you roll because
Oh God,
Okay.
I got a ton of successes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes with 2 exalted.
I also got 7.
I got 4 this time.
I got 7 also.
I almost know where we are. It's weird because she's got like her eyes are always open and you think she'd be aware, but her eyes are there to just like record everything that's going on and not really to deduce what it is, I guess.
Yeah, not to like kind of
Analyze.
analyze it, just record
It's
it.
data
Yeah.
collection. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You're hearing without listening.
Yeah.
Here comes the result from the old Boneyard encounter table. 25. I need to pick an agent at random. I'm going to use the same numbers as earlier. Actually, I'm going to use 1 for Skid, 2 for Troy, 3 for Joe, and 4 for Kate. It is a 4.
I win.
Iota. Tell me what she's won, Greg.
She's won.
Kate, Iota notices a sarcophagus as you're driving by, and you ask Azrael to stop driving so you can look at it. Perhaps it's a loved one, an enemy, or someone else important from your background, but I'm interested in what you think Iota sees. Who do you see? Whose name do you see on the sarcophagus, and how do you react?
I feel like her eyes like see it, register it, and then she stops the seeing without listening because it's a name that her past self would recognize and like wakes up that past self maybe. And I'm gonna say it's like a parent?
Whoa.
Readily
Whoa.
apparent?
I don't know, yeah.
How does it make you
Do you know
feel?
the odds of that happening to you right now? That's astronomical. That's crazy.
Anything can happen in the boneyard.
Oh no, I know. It's just like, whoa, that's fucked up.
I feel like at first she's really confused and then scared of what that means, being in the boneyard, because that means that her parent was important if they're buried here.
Or they had enough money from what the work they did to...
So she's wondering how she is where she is currently in life. Maybe she's having an existential crisis.
And next in this national.
Well, depending on what stage of grieving you're in, this is often a reward for an existential crisis. Give yourself a wrath point.
Okay.
Ooh. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Upon seeing that, you tell Azrael to start up the car again, and you finally make it there. The Gelfradus Necropolis. Now that you've navigated the path, it lies in a clearing ahead of you. As you reach the clearing, monsoon rains begin to fall from the clouds above. But it's still easy through the monsoon rains to see 20-meter high walls. Also, at least 20-meter high 20-meter high gates surrounding the walls, bearing the rusted crest of the Gelfradus family that matches the key you have. What do you do?
I feel like we're not going to try to open it immediately this time after the last time.
Sure.
So if there's any way we can inspect the door or the wall.
Yeah, Troy, you were going to stealth, right? You're going to try something stealthy?
Yeah, if you feel like now is the time, I'll
Hold on. Let me see what my eyes can see.
and I just hit the deck, and I'm gone within seconds. Oh, it's a couple sixes. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
All right.
I keep getting that 6 stealth.
To borrow a Troyism, you don't think it's trapped.
Everything looks fine.
Everything looks good.
So I comment back.
Everything looks fine.
All right. I guess we'll start approaching.
Let's do it.
Who has the key?
I do.
All right.
He
Keep an eye
starts
out.
walking up to this mausoleum in the rain, pulls his hood down, looks up at it, feels the presence of heresy, particularly against the, what was it? It was against the Adeptus Mechanicus, right? They were like, yeah.
They were accusing the Gelfradus family of using filthy Xenos technology.
That's right, Xenos technology, and he's a Xenos hunter. Like, this is his subtype or whatever within his archetype, and so yeah, he's just. I sense the presence of Xeno filth in this place. He'll walk up and insert the key in the lock.
You insert the key from Kalia's bandolier and clink! The gates unlock. You're able to swing them open with ease. The necropolis itself is still way down in this valley. So you make your way down, approach the tomb, pass the gate. Necropolis proper lies before you, spread out kind of like, a city in a valley. You're able to make out in the monsoon rain, like, slight glows moving around. Everyone roll me an awareness check.
Ooh, 6 on the Exalted and another 6, so 4 successes.
So you should be at... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say 1 icon. Success.
I got 6 icons.
3 icons.
So with that success on the Exalted icon, on the... Did you say on the Wrath die or just 1 Exalted, Troy?
I got 2 Exalted, and one of them was the Wrath die.
You should be maxed out on your glory currently.
Yeah, we have 6 glory. Yep.
That's enough for Wombat Sex Table to make out a kind of Minotaur's labyrinth. Kind of like if you were in the Midwest, it would be like a cornfield, but it's made out of like bones and old masonry.
Whoa. It's a bone labyrinth.
You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 figures.
10 figures?
10 figures. And they look like this.
He's building up.
Here they come. Sorry, it's hard to produce and do this at the same time.
Look like.
My
Here.
Oh, no.
Grant, you must have made a mistake. You said there were 10.
The Men of Iron!
Oh my god.
Look up there, my coworkers.
My coworkers.
They're also from Backstab Lane. So you see 10 of these awful-looking creatures. Which among you have the keyword Adeptus Mechanicus? Kate?
Yep, and Britannicus.
Okay, so you would know without even needing a check that these are servitors. Different from the servo skulls you saw earlier, they're humans whose brains have been lobotomized and reprogrammed by the Adeptus Mechanicus. Their bodies are heavily modified with technology, an apt supporter for the Imperium war machine usually, requiring no thoughts, only actions. They are perfectly adapted to their purpose, whether as a living specimen, a technical toolkit, or a portable cogitator. While the human components of some servitors, as you saw in that image, are grown in vats, others are condemned criminals, maybe a fate that could have awaited Iota if she took a wrong path or two. Some well-connected crime lords and tyrants turn those who have failed them into servitors. You know that many servitors have the capacity to speak in binary cant. Some nobles have luxury models that can speak Low Gothic, but all servitor communication is functional and pre-programmed at best. There's no hope of negotiating with these things. Those marked for death by a combat servitor, of which these are, you see heavy blasters on their replaced right arms. Those marked for death by them, best beware the heavy weapons they have in place. Wombat, roll me another awareness check.
All right.
Oh, 6 on the Exalted.
Excellent.
2 successes.
You can
6 on the Exalted? You mean the Wrath, John?
On the Wrath. 6 on the Wrath, John.
let you shift that and gain pieces of information you wouldn't be able to gather otherwise. You not only take in this whole scene, because you shifted that, you feel like you can take advantage of the poor visibility caused by the monsoon and Metal Gear Solid tactical espionage action your way past them without any need for combat. I'll let you roll a stealth score for the scene, and I'm going to let me know how you'd like it to proceed. When we continue the graveyard shift in the grim darkness of the far future, we're not going to be back next week, so we'll see you soon.
We have to do this more.
Yes.
This is so fucking fun.
Yeah, it is.
This was so fun.
One way or another, like, we have to keep doing it. So,
I think this one's definitely going to see the end of the adventure, unlike our first drift into Warhammer 40K. So once again, I want to thank Cubicle 7 Games for all their kind support in getting this out there, and we can't wait to finish this adventure soon. Next week, I want to welcome on newcomer Jim Zub alongside Jason Bowman, Alicia Marie, who will join Troy LaValle and Skidmar in tackling Marvel superheroes. And until then, thank you, Special K, Kate Stamas, and bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Good night. Thank you for
Have
watching.
a wonderful evening. Sleep well. Sleep well.
Well, the Emperor wills it.